everybody, it's me, it's Keela, and I just wanted to say either welcome or welcome back. If you've never been to my channel before, I do makeup, health, skincare. I like to talk about health and fitness, and I also do unboxings of Ipsy, BoxyCharm, and Lashy-Box. And also of See New Skincare box from See New Skin. And talking about them, I've been using them for about 2 weeks now, and my skin is just absolutely feeling so wonderful and so dewy. But today I'm going to be making 3 videos. I'm going to be making a full face of makeup, and I'm going to do that in increments with brows and eyes first, and then I'm going to show how I use foundation to cover up my rosacea, and I'm just going to finish the face. And then whatever videos happen to come up after that, we'll see. I don't know. But I do have some things planned, and I have a lot in store, so I'm hoping to do a couple of lives here soon. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to those. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on in. First, I'm going to do the eyebrows and eyes. So let me take off my glasses. And here we go. First, I'm going to do my brows, because without my brows, I really don't have anywhere to gauge my eyeshadow look. So I always have to do my brows first. I'm using Billion Dollar Brows Perfect Brow Kit, and I start at the bottom of my brows, and I just trace it out. Now my natural brow, the hair actually starts here, and it ends right about here. So for the other half of my eye, there's really no brow there at all. So I get to kind of draw it on however I'd like to. And I'm going to purposely draw it up like this and give myself a pretty dramatic arch. And then come back down. And I don't want to take the end of it any further than the beginning of the brow, actually, because I have the hooded eyes, and you can see how they're just pretty hooded and pretty fleshy right here. Is that even the right word? I don't know. Doesn't sound good, but that's what it is. It is what it is. But you see how it's right here, and the more I draw it up like this, the more it brings the eye up like this and opens it up. So also on this side of the eye, you don't want anything to be too heavy, because it'll weigh the eye down. So I come back to the front and just fill it in. And once I get back here, I just make the top look nice and smooth. I like the thinner brow of the 90s. Which, believe it or not, was thicker than the thin brow of the 80s. Which, when I was in high school, it was in the 80s. I graduated in the mid-80s. But we had our eyebrows so thin. So thin. It's like they were put on with a razor blade. They were just really thin. You blew on them too hard and they just flew right off your face. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come underneath it with my fingers and just lightly rub along the bottom, and bring my finger and lightly go along the top. And what that does is, if there was any stray marks or lines on there that, because I was carelessly flicking when I was trying to make the hair-like drawings, it puts them back in line with the rest of the brow. But there's the left brow. Now I'm going to do the right one. And again, I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to get pretty dramatic with this one too. Now you'll notice this one is a different shape. But I'm going to try to get it as close to that one as I can. But my eyebrows are both different shapes because my eyes are different shapes. And I think it's that way for everybody, but that's okay. Because I don't want it to be exactly a twin of my left brow. But I do want people to know that they belong in the same face. I'm just going to come right here real quick and do it to where it's a little more rounded because I don't really like the squared off brow look. And again, too heavy on the outside because of how hooded the lid is. It would just bring the lid down, and I want to bring it up and waken up the eye and make it look more open. Alright, there's that. Now I'm going to take the spoolie end. I'm just going to pick up the hairs. And I just dropped my lid. And of course it's a clear lid, so I can't see it right now without my glasses, so I'll just call this good and I'll stick that in my little brush jar. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is my lips are feeling a little dry, so I'm going to reapply my lip balm, and that's going to help me for later when I do my lips. It's just going to make the application a whole lot better. Now then, I'm going to take this highlighter side of the stick, which is not a highlighter to add shine or anything. What it is it's highlight because it's brightening. But I'm going to put this underneath my brows. Just like that. Now I know there's people saying, oh, you shouldn't put that on your eyes, you shouldn't put concealer on your eyes, you shouldn't use concealer for this, that, and you know what? I do have an eyeshadow primer, but I don't like it. It's too sticky. And it's not because I put too much on or I've let it sit too long. This stuff is just actually too sticky. I swear it's like somebody had taken eyelash glue and put it into a tube and called it eyeshadow primer. It's just, it's not good. And I figured that since I have this waxy concealer, hey, why not? It'll do the same thing. And it won't be as sticky. I'm going to take the concealer side and I'm going to go above the brow. Now I don't take it really high up, but I do like to go around the entire brow and across right in here and give myself a concealer unibrow, kind of. Again, above the brow. And people are always telling me, you shouldn't do that because you're going to have a halo eyebrow. You're going to have a halo around your eyebrows. No. You'll see. The way I blend it and then the way I use the products above and beyond on top of the brow, it's just, it works out great. So I'm not concerned about it at all. Now I'm just going to use my fingers to blend because these are waxy and a brush would actually tend to pull more than I want. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap with my little finger here. And that's going to blend this all out for me. Plus it's going to cover my lid and give me all that I need for an eyeshadow primer. And then on the top of the brow, I'm going to go ahead and use my middle finger and just tap that out into the skin. And so here is the bridge of my nose. And the space between my eyebrows and my right eyebrow blended. And I know you see a little bit of a halo right now. But by the time I'm finished, when you see that finished look, you'll see that it's done what it's supposed to. I'm just going to touch up a little bit. On the end. And there's that. I'm going to do the same thing over on the left one. You know what? I'm going to switch hands. That way y'all can see. Just tap, tap, tap. Because this is waxy, it works better with fingers because that way the body heat that's naturally created, you know, because of your body, helps melt that to where you can move it around and manipulate it how you want it. And what I like about using the highlighter side of that concealer pencil from Billion Dollar Brows is that by the time I get done spreading it around up here, there's enough left on my finger that I can come underneath and do a little bit of a brightening here so that later on when I go to use my concealer, I really don't have to use a whole bunch of product. And now I'm going to come in with my middle finger and just tap out the top part. Just like I did on the right side. Okay, and I think that's done. There's that. Now then, I'm going to, well, that one really didn't get too bad. Maybe a little right there. Okay. Now the final thing I'm going to do with those brows, I'm going to go in with the brow gel and lock them in place. I find that with my brows, because they are so sparse and there's so little hair, that I don't even have to dip back into the tube to get more gel. I just flip it over to the other side. And there's the brows. Now then, I'm going to create what I call my sunrise sunset eye. And I'm going to do that with a combination of two palettes. I'm going to be using this Okalun palette that I got from Lashibox. I'm going to be using some of the yellows and the oranges in there. And I'm also going to be using this palette I got from BoxyCharm. It's the Ace Beauty Vintage Dawn palette. And I'm going to be using yellows and oranges from here, as well as this Frost in the inner corner. But I'm going to start off with the Okalun palette. And I'm going to get my fluffy brush from Luxie. As far as what brushes I'm actually using, as far as their number or what they're called or anything, for the most part, I'm not going to be able to tell you what that is because I can't see it without my glasses. And sometimes even with my glasses, I can't see it. Now I've got my little rag here that I'm using as a spot clean because my spot cleaner is on its way. I've ordered one in the mail and it just hasn't come in yet. But I can do the same thing with this washcloth. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one of those spot cleaners. But sometimes those are nice. Okay, I'm just dipping in to this yellow right here. And this is going to be my transition shade. And I'm going to start here on the outside. And I'm going to follow this orbital bone because I want it above the crease. And I want it to be pretty well covered, but at the same time I don't want to worry about connecting it too far down here yet because I'm going to do a different color down there. And if you'll notice, I kind of have my brush tilted like this, even though I'm in my crease area, and that's because I want it above the crease. If I wanted it in the crease, I would have to go straight on, and if I wanted it lower, I'd have to come down like this. But right now I want it above the crease. And I'll just blend that out. And that's looking pretty good. Dipping in again for the other side. Again, just following the orbital bone. Because I want it at the crease, but I want it above the crease because this is my transition color. And I want it to be able to be easily seen. And doing makeup for hooded eyes is quite a bit different than doing makeup for people who don't have hooded eyes. However, this little trick will work for anybody. If you want it to be above the crease, you put it like this. If you want it in the crease, you put it like this. And if you want it below the crease, you put it like this. But if you still want it concentrated pretty much at the crease. This, this, or this. Okay. That's that yellow. Now, I'm going to clean off this brush because I am going to end up using it again on a later color. I just don't want to use it again right now because I have another brush that I'm going to go for. It's the Moda Fluffy brush. And what I like about this one is that, yes, it's nice and fluffy, but it's also kind of tapered and pointed. You see that? I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, now I'm going to open up the Ace Beauty palette. And I'm going to come and get, I can't read what that says, but it's going to be this yellow right here. And I'm going to use that to intensify the actual crease area. Plus a little bit's going to go above the crease as well. So, here it goes. Now I don't want to take this too far over because the more I darken towards the inside, the closer it's going to make my eye look this way, and it'll just make me have closer set eyes. I like it when they look a little further apart. So if I stay lighter on the inside than I do on the outside, then that'll make them appear further apart. And there's that. See, it's a little more intense over here. I'm just going to do the same thing over on the other eye. Again, I'm going to not go as far in. And I'm going to concentrate mainly from the center out. I put that tapered part right into the crease, and it's still pointed kind of up, so I'm still getting coverage above the crease. Just even it up a little bit. With hooded eyes, whenever you're doing your makeup, it's always best to look as straight ahead as possible. Okay, now I'm going to clean off this brush, because more than likely I will end up using it again on another color. So the spot clean really helps out a lot. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with this bright orange right here with the same brush, only this time, instead of having it pointed up, I'm going to have it directly into the crease. And sometimes, in order to get it directly into the crease really good, it's almost like you got to really shove it down in there. Now then, since this is a lighter color, I am going to bring it all the way across, but keep it concentrated directly in the crease. Just like that. Again, right in the crease, looking as straight ahead as possible. And again, like I said, since it's a lighter color, I am going to bring it all the way across. And to keep it concentrated in the crease, I'm going to shove it in as much as I can. I know that sounds bad, and watching somebody with a hooded eye do that, it can make you think that it's painful, but it really is not. Right like that. Now cleaning off this brush again. I'm going to go back to the Okalan palette and grab that orange from there, because it's lighter than this one. Or darker, I mean. Darker, sorry. It's more of a peachy orange. I'm going to tap into that. Now again, I'm going to concentrate on the crease area, but this time, instead of pointing just straight in, I'm going to kind of point down a little, because I want to get it a little lower than just the crease, because I want this orange, the bright orange from the Ace Beauty palette, to stick through. And I'm going to do it just like that. Get back into it again. I am sorry about all the weird faces I'm making. I'm not even doing mascara, and here I am making mascara faces. Okay. Well, there's that. Now you see why I call it my sunrise, sunset set look. I love this look. I love it. Now then, I'm going to come back to the ochre one, and I'm going to come in with this dusty rose color here. And I'm using the same brush, which I spot cleaned. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm just going to come right here on the outer and the reason I use this brush, even though this brush is best for the crease and all that, is because it's the perfect shape to give me what I want right there on the outside. And it's pretty dense, so it picks up enough color for me to just have to pat it on really just once. And with what's left, if my makeup was already done, I could go underneath it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come over here to the other side. And see what I mean? There was enough color left there. But just by tapping it, I've almost gotten it. Just maybe a little bit more. And like that. Now I'm finally going to switch brushes. I'm going to spot clean this one first. And because I want to keep the inner part as light as possible, I'm going to come in with this Dusty Rose, which is a lighter one. Same color family, just a lighter shade. I'm going to bring that on the inside, on the lid, and I'm just going to pack it on. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to connect the two ever so lightly. Okay, now then, I'm going to spot clean like that. And now I'm going to do something that is going to really just blow you away on this. I'm going to take a little bit of concealer I'm going to do that shape right there. And then with, where'd it go? Ah. Now this brush is a little thicker than I like it to be, but it's the best one I've got for this. I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to tap it out. And there's that look. Now I'm going to come in here into the Ace Beauty, and with my finger, I'm going to grab this color right here. So pretty. And I'm just going to tap it right where that concealer is. And before I do anything else, I'm going to take this brush. It's one of my favorite brushes from Farah. And I'm just going to diffuse the edges so that they aren't real harsh. Couldn't really get that inner one, so I'm just using my finger on that. But gonna touch up the color again right in the center of it. And there's that. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so first I'm going to grab the concealer. And I'm going to put the concealer. When you do this on your eye, you want to have it a little wider at the top than you do at the bottom. And we're just going to take this flat concealer brush and tap it out. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with this color here and just tap it on. And again, I'm going to blend it. And then I'm just going to go with what's left of my finger and get it right in the center. And there are my brows and my eyes. Now later, after I finish the rest of my makeup, I'm going to clean up the outside, and once I'm done with my foundation and concealer and powder and all that, then I'm going to go underneath and smoke that out. But you're going to love how I line it, so if you want to see how that happens, you got to stay tuned for my next video. Alright, thank you so much for letting me show you my brows and my eyes. My foundation will be next, along with the blush and bronzer and all that stuff. So if you are interested in that and how I cover up my rosacea, stay tuned and I'll see you next time. God bless, love you lots, and stay beautiful. Bye.